for watching Business Day. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Business Day. We are going to look at issues of agribusiness in our country. We get into issues of events management and how it can generate an income and can be that alternative in times of entrepreneurship. We also get into issues of social corporate responsibility and how it adds to development. These and more items on the program. This is Business Day and I am JudyNgulube. Agribusiness is something that has been talked about so much of late in our country. When we talk about the alternatives, moving away from mining, moving away from tourism, issues that will generate an income in terms of just diversification of our economy. We get to the southern province with courtesy of Zanis. 5.4 million payout from the farmers has been actually launched by government under the Weather Index Insurance Program. 18,000 farmers have started to receive payment for losses incurred during the 2018-2019 farming season. Here's a report.
These are farmers from Pemba district in Southern Province. They are part of the 18,000 farmers who will be receiving a total of 5.4 million kwacha under the Weather Index Insurance for the 2018-2019 farming season. Government, through the World Food Programme and other partners, embarked on the Weather Index Insurance Program for smallholder farmers on good risk management. The Weather Index Insurance has so far been implemented in Southern Province, which is the most hit by the effects of climate change. Mayfair Insurance has been offering the insurance to farmers who benefit from government subsidies.
This pilot is as a result of the partnership that we have with World Food Programme, which started in Southern Province in 2015. And we are, so at the moment, it's still running in the southern part of Zambia because this is a province that is mostly hit by climatic risk in terms of droughts and dry spells. But going forward, definitely, in consultation with our implementing partners, we have plans to expand to other provinces because they also face the same risk of drought.
Southern Province Agricultural Coordinating Officer Max Chombe encouraged the farmers to use the funds and buy inputs in order to adequately prepare themselves for the 2019-2020 farming season.
You have seen that last season was bad, and today we are witnessing payouts. People who paid the 50 kwacha, 100 kwacha, they are getting 700. And I should say that they are getting it at the right time because they can buy inputs from what they have been paid out. So one of the things that farmers should adopt also is weather index insurance because it will help them. Like you have seen people getting excited when they are getting their payouts.
The beneficiaries of the Weather Index Insurance now share their sentiments.
Twakomana maningi kutuleterako kuno kukasiya kuti twahewobweza ntangalala bonse bantu aumulabweza kwina kuti bidwe kwina kuti banja sinyekerwa abobo twakubayo kuti bendekabo tutwalimba maningi bazumanane ku mulimo oyu alibi bakabole mwakali tulabalomba
ikapati chijatiki yabuli kuti bandibona kuti nzala yeyachitira yandigwa yakambo wanyina malaku yakasaka kambutope wanyina onomukubajo lempo kuti kuyanga ndaiba kuti ndahanga muchindi chiruzi kwinda mumarayirire abobo ncherumba boyo number 1 ndagomba kuli babo ibenzuma bonse ibaliko abantu bonse baliko kwamba kuti maraya twaberehe munzira isarara mukuti twalipengede tutanyonyoni pe.
Faith Julube Mtale, Zanis News, Pemba District in Southern Province.
Thank you so much for still watching Business Day. When you talk about events management, events planning, some time back, it wasn't something that Zambians would appreciate, would pay for. But this is coming up mainstream and is generating an income, creating employment, and having ripple effect in regards to having a circulation of income. I'm very glad today that Michael Malambo, who is in this business, is here on set with me to talk about this, and we get into the thick of things in regards to how Zambia can tap into this and how it can generate an income as well as create employment. How are you? Thank you so much for coming to Business Day.
How are you? Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here. Finally.
Let's talk events. Let's talk money spinning events as well as how this is just panning out of late in our country.
Okay, if you talk about events, I think we'll have to segment them. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about, I call them individually inclined events, mm-hmm. and those are which encompass a community. So individual events, we're talking about birthday parties, things like weddings. These are smaller events, which I think on a daily basis, we have a lot of people mushrooming into it. Mm-hmm. They're tapping into either a segment or the whole lot of it. Then we also have now the socially inclined events management, where we do the beer festivals, the kids festivals that have, especially for the last 3 years, we've had a lot of festivals going on. Mm-hmm. Then there's also the corporate side of events management, where we talk about hosting product launches, hosting corporate events, meetings, expos, seminars. That's another type of events management that we can talk about.
The effect that this has on development, on employment, and the professionalism it also brings with it.
Okay, here's what happens. In terms of employment, I think if you talk about the wedding industry or kids' parties, mm-hmm. it's the easiest thing to get into. Over the years that I noticed is every bride, most of the brides I did weddings for, next time you find their planners. Mm-hmm. Because after going through that stress, they feel like I have the knowledge I can do for another person. So I've had brides that I did weddings for who have ended up being full-time weddings.
Hence bringing the issue of professionalism.
Yes.
Because for businesses in Zambia, I've noticed this one's selling tomato, I'll start selling tomato.
Yes.
This one's doing events, I can do events.
Yes.
So the professionalism aspect of it.
Okay, professionalism aspect of it comes in, I feel sometimes like this is a creative industry. Mm-hmm. Creativity, you can't be taught. You're either born with it and you can't fake it. So if you're creative, you can go into it and you have to have the passion for it. Sometimes you may think maybe people are making money, but I call it working for thank you. You find you find after the event is done, you're trying to count, you find you haven't made anything. But it's not every event that you make money. Sometimes you're like, okay, the next event, so long you can break even, the next event I'll make some profit. But it's a learning curve. It's past 2 years, we've seen people move from just learning from themselves. They've actually taken themselves to school for events management. People are doing floral courses in South Africa. They're going out there, experiencing the world. And I'm glad to say we also have a local person who's been able to work with one of the best florists in the world, like Karen Turan.
Wow.
Yeah, she's called to go and help as a helper for to do floral arrangements. She's qualified to that level.
Talk about global, being a global village.
It's really diverse. And when you talk about employment, when somebody's doing events, there are a lot of people involved. If I'm doing a social event like a beer fest, I'm employing DJs, I'm employing sound technicians, I'm employing door bouncers, I'm employing ushers, I'm employing people that are going to do the printing, I'm employing people that are going to sell tickets on the gate. I'm going to employ other supportive services. The people are going to run the bar that are going to bring people. The people are going to run food stands that are going to bring other people. The musicians are not just coming as them; they'll come with a band. So it's an industry that has it's got a wide market, and people can tap in at any level that they feel like.
So where do you place this when it comes to its space in terms of generation of income, revenue, and all these employment opportunities we just talked about?
Where do I base the space?
Where do you place it in the radar of just income and revenue generation?
If I can place it anywhere.
Or let's say out of 10.
Out of 10? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, the only problem with the events industry, I think.
I was about to ask about the challenges.
Yeah, I think it's untapped, because if we can place it in any ladder scheme, it's a full-fledged industry, but except people need to really appreciate its effect. People look at it, for example, if I'm doing a wedding, they just look at it like it's a by the way business. Mm-hmm. But if I give a quotation to a client, I'll give you an example, people that do deco. One company is able to quote 50,000 just for a wedding. That's just to do decorations, nothing else. Then you have other people that are putting in other money. So you find from one event for a wedding, people are making like if I put together everything that has been spent, people spend between 50 to 100,000. And how many weddings do we have in a week?
Wow.
We have Lusaka alone has got over 75 wedding venues, which are fully booked every weekend. And if you multiply it on average of 50,000 kwacha that particular weekend, how much money is being in circulation?
Incredible.
Yeah.
So when you look at the future, where do you see events management in terms of, it's part of the creative industry and its contribution to economic development?
Okay, in the future, what I'm seeing is this industry is fast growing. It's very fast growing, and the future is more inclined on trends. So it's sliding on trends and bringing in new innovations. We have new type of events that have come across, like beer parties. We never used to have those. We have moved from album launches. Now we are doing all these festivals. We have color fests that have come in. I see it evolving with trends that are going around the world. And because once you penetrate the corporate world, I think it goes for a long time, because that's what happens. But if you're gonna do the other events that people think people make money, if you're gonna do social events, those I would advise you, if you don't have a strong financial backing, don't.
There you go. If you think you just get up and start saying, I'll put this and this together, there's a challenge when it comes to events. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay. Michael Malambo there from OJ Planning, and of course giving us a 101 in regards to what is happening in the world of events and how it is tapping into and also just coming through when it comes to social economic development contribution from that sector. You're watching Business Day. Thank you so much for still watching Business Day. Social corporate responsibility has taken a very interesting trickle-on effect in regards to the Lusaka Rugby Club here in Lusaka, Zambia. The Lusaka Rugby Club was established in the mid-1960s with a lot of highs and lows, a lot of wins on the pitch and off the pitch. The Lusaka Rugby Club has introduced a play of rugby on the weekends for kids in the communities here in Lusaka. But how this becomes interesting is because Country Choice Zambia, their sponsor, gives them sponsorship, but they in turn also give sponsorship as well as training for children from around the communities to become professional rugby players. This becomes something that will generate an income for these children, as well as make them busy during the weekends and make an income from what can potentially be a career choice in regards to physical fitness, as well as an income generating spinning, as well as something that they can get money from just from playing rugby. We caught up with Country Choice, their sponsors. This is what they had to say.
It's very important because we exist in the environment and in the community where we have our customers. So we have to give back to them and say thank you to them. So apart from supporting rugby, we also support orphanages and also animal welfare societies. We believe that if our customers are healthy, if our customers are supported, we'll be able to get so much more from them. So basically, corporate social responsibility for us as Country Choice and Eureka Chicken Farms is very important because we need to give back and appreciate the support that the customers are giving us. Our growth is driven from our customers. So without our customers, we wouldn't be where we are. Basically, rugby, as you are aware, it's a minor sport in Zambia. And Lusaka Rugby is doing a commendable job. They are starting from the grassroots. So as you can see today, they are basically trying to develop talent from the young ones. So today we're supporting the junior rugby because we want them to start growing rugby from young, from the young stage. If you have observed in Zambia, Zambia is not so good in rugby because mainly the sport was introduced at an adult age. So if we are able to tap talent from the grassroots, while these young kids are young, we believe that by the time they'll be growing up and integrated into the national team, we should have a formidable side that can compete nicely with Kenya, can compete nicely with Zimbabwe and South Africa. So basically, we have a passion for it. I'll tell you, our group CEO, Mr. Richard Kili, is a fond lover of rugby and he believes that we can do better as a country. Sport is not all about football. We need to tap in and get glory from all the sports disciplines that we can. If we neglect a sport, it might be that one flag bearer that can take the name of Zambia ahead. And also would want to see us competing in major tournaments and challenges and basically put Zambia on the map and be able to identify it and said Zambia is doing the right thing. So as Country Choice and Eureka Chicken Farms, we are very proud. We'll continue supporting rugby, and we hope that the fruits will come very soon.
Shalani Michelo is the coach for the kids on Sunday. We also caught up with him in regards to just finding out how this social corporate responsibility has spilled over to Sunday training for children around the communities, what they're getting from it, and how it adds to development.
The program started maybe about 7 years ago. It started as a pilot program just to try to see if we can enroll more kids to start playing the game of rugby. We started with about 10 kids, and now the program has grown to about 80 kids, girls and boys. So we have a maximum of about 15 girls on a good weekend. The numbers fluctuate depending on the time of the school year. We've seen an increase in the kids because most of the parents, I encourage them to come here because they're thinking the kids are getting more disciplined. Because when they come here, we try to teach them the other side of life instead of just playing the sport. We try to teach them the core values of respect, passion, family, friendshipness, and team respect. As a club, this has been it has a positive impact on Lusaka. We've seen, as of last year, we've seen 8 boys graduate from this program and are now playing in the main team, between the A team level and the B team level. We've also seen one of our boys from this program represent Zambia national team in the B side in the recent Zambia Sevens, maybe about a month ago.
From sports business there, we get into issues of motivation in regards to incubation and how when you create a hub of what can be inculcated in upcoming entrepreneurs, what can that breed? We have in studio Mr. Gilbert Banda coming from the Motivational Center for Africa's Transformation. Mr. Banda, thank you so much for coming through. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Judy, for the invitation to your show. And it's a pleasure to be here, to be able to share ideas plus inspiration around business incubation.
Okay. When you see what the piece we've just seen, let me take you back to sports business, the Lusaka Rugby Club getting children around the community to get busy, physically fit, but also win in regards to something that can be potentially a career choice as a rugby player, professional rugby player.
Absolutely. And that's what business incubation also does. The whole idea is to be able to find what people are passionate about and then rally them around that so they can build a career around there, as opposed to, people just going to school and getting good grades and then later on they're in the streets looking for a job. But business incubation is about, pushing them to entrepreneurship as a career option, to be able to see that, from their talents, from what they have, they can be able to at least, develop something that they can be able to earn a living, but also employ other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your name for Motivational Center for Africa's Transformation.
Yeah.
Why look at Africa and zeroing into Zambia?
I like that. We actually came up with the name because that's our vision, the transformation of Africa. Because we realized that, after spending 15 years in development work, originally I was a development worker, doing projects in communities and also right across the continent, in South Africa, in Kenya. And I discovered that, Zambia's problems and Kenya's problems, South Africa's problems in terms of black people, they're really the same. And so when we were coming up with a vision for our company was to look at, a center for motivation, a center of excellence where we can be able to inspire people to be able to look at a better future for themselves, a common future. Because South Africa as a continent, I think our issues are all to do with mindset change, dependency, things that, always keep us perpetually dependent on the West who colonize us. So many years, for Zambia, over 50 years of independence, we still keep looking to Britain or keep looking to America for solutions for our great republic. But we feel that, if we have that change of mindset, and that's why MOCAT, we can be able to begin to look at the power that lies asleep within individuals.
Okay.
Sure.
So when you say incubate, you go to, just this lockout and lockdown of everything. What exactly happens in this incubation?
Okay, business incubation is really, the same way that, you incubate an egg so that it can hatch into a chicken. A business incubator is to be able to bring in a young entrepreneur or somebody with a business idea into the incubator so that they can be able to hatch and become a successful enterprise. So the whole idea is not so much lockdown, but to be able to create a safer environment. You provide them a desk space, you provide them, a safe environment where they can be able to bloom, where they'll be provided coaching and mentoring, so that, from there, they can be able to launch out and start their enterprise. And by the way, world over, business incubators are the places where, countries have used to be able to, push the entrepreneurship agenda. Once we have a lot of business incubation around the country, you will see how many enterprises will begin to thrive. Because the success rate of an enterprise, when they pass through an incubator, is actually over 80% for them to succeed. If they graduate from the incubation, the failure rate is grandly reduced. And so that's why we are promoting business incubation, so that we're able to have, especially young people. We have passion for young people because we believe that's, the future for this nation. If we invest in the young people, also Zambia being a young population, investing in these young people for them to come for business incubation and launch them out into businesses that thrive, create jobs, create employment, and also deploy those who start those enterprises. I think we'll be able to have taken away most of the challenges that this country faces.
I like that you bring in issues of challenges. I mean, Zambia is a developing country, and when you look at our economy currently, which sectors would you say are most lucrative, would be good to go in for a startup, and would breed the most for development for our country?
I like that question, because that's what we do at our incubation, to look at what we call the low-hanging fruits. Which sort of sector would somebody who doesn't have any money, and most young people don't have any money, they have graduated, their parents sacrificed maybe the last cow so that they can go to a university education. They come from there, they find there are no jobs. So what is a low-hanging fruit? For us, low-hanging fruit exists in the agriculture sector, but also the ICT sector. We are living in what is called information technology. Yes. Innovations around technology, innovations around computers, innovations around applications, and so forth. I think, they are the future, and we need to bring more and more young people to begin to take advantage of that digital divide, because our friends in China, in America, more young people are becoming billionaires in the ICT sector, because that is the space where, it's so easy to get started. But also a country like Zambia, with a good climate, a good geographical location, land-linked, good weather, a good rainfall, very fertile soils. I think the agriculture sector offers a huge opportunity, as well. Massive opportunity as well. And there we are not talking about agriculture as culture, the way we have always known it, always tilling the land and with very arduous methods and so forth. But talking about agribusiness, that when we are going to go into agriculture, whether you're doing pig farming or chicken farming, look at it as an agribusiness. When you look at it as an agribusiness, then your whole approach, your whole mindset will go into that arena to go make money. Because most of the people, let's face it, in Zambia, they go into farming as a culture. They see the rains coming, they start planting. They don't even know where they're going to sell that maize or whatever crop they're growing. You need to know where your market is and what you're doing with it. Because if you take it as a business, before you even put your seed in the soil, you should be able to have dealt with the issue of market. Because if you have no market, you have no business. Because business really emanates from, if I grow this maize, will I be able to sell it? Because when you sell it, then you have an income, then it is a business. But if you're going to produce something, then you're waiting for the government or FRA to give you a market. You shouldn't really be doing that. So we're giving the young people a business mindset that if you're going to go into farming, if you're going to go to maize farming, or moringa farming, or pig farming, always ensure, begin with the end in mind. And the end in mind is you need to have a market, because the market is what will give you revenue for you to stay in the business.
Then you will come back reversing backwards.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming through, Mr. Banda.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, all right. Okay. That was Mr. Gilbert Banda coming from the Motivational Center for Africa's Transformation. You're watching Business Day. That's where we end our show for today. Thank you so much for having stayed with us. Join us next week, Thursday, same time.